Hi, everybody. About a few seconds late. Just give us a chance to catch up. I just wanted to let you know I had a lot of people respond to my email, my community notice last night. So I have quite a few personal questions, and y'all seem to be all on the same page uh, for the most part about what you want to talk about. And um, it's something I want to talk about that I don't even know if you're out there. I'm not even seeing anybody shown up yet in my count. But what I wanted to talk about was I wrote up some notes on codependence. And I've been around for a long time, as you all know. And I go back to the therapy that was I'm okay, you're okay. And they would have like whole weekend sessions and they would get people together, and it was to teach you how to say I'm okay and feel like you're okay and stay okay. And the other people were uh, and there was people there who would go into the scripts of the not okay. And it's the shadow work we do now to get rid of the early images that were implanted in us. And um, I remember going to one weekend, uh, once it was on a Saturday, and I went, and it was after my divorce. But um, they'd pair you off in groups, and they'd give you, we're going to go on a picnic and how to plan it and everything. And some of you were the I'm okays, and some of them were the I'm not okays. And then there were the people who imprinted their impression on the group. And at the end of the Saturday, one of the leaders of the group came up to me and she said, we ought to package you and take you with us when we're leading lectures on this. Because when I got in a group and I decided that I was going to be okay, but nobody else was going to be okay, I was going to make sure they were as not okay as possible. I took over the group, and uh, they would walk out. We wouldn't have been able to go on the pit. I had all the reason you shouldn't go on a picnic. I had all the reasons you shouldn't do whatever the task was. And um, uh, I, so I kind of looked at it and I just decided I had to uh, improve my positivity. I'd be making positive statements, but it's like this is toxic positivity. And I copied this off an article. It says when someone's talking with you saying being negative won't help you, or the other one that's a real killer, positive vibes only, but, and then you put your but that makes sure that nobody's vibe is going to be positive at the end of that. And then the other toxic positivity is, oh, it's okay. You'll get over it. We all survived it. Other people have been through a lot worse. Man, when someone asks me for advice, or I ask someone for advice and they go, oh, people have had it much worse than you have. But we're not talking about them. We're talking about what's going on with me, or we're talking about what's personally going on with you. Um, Smile, crying won't help. That's took me a long time to get over, because for years I couldn't cry. I couldn't, I was afraid to let go and cry and have that part of my emotion. And it's really doesn't work well. And then my favorite one is, oh, just stay positive. And with the kind of news we've had in the last few days, there's some of that going around. But there are other ways to word things, and that's what I've had to learn in doing my career. You'll hear me reword people's questions because I think the question they've given me, they've already loaded the answer into it. And this is somewhat when you're talking with people. Now, genuine optimism, if you're going to speak to someone and be genuinely optimistic, these are some points. It's important to let it out. Just put it out there. Is there anything I can do to make that easier for you? That's if someone, and I had to go through this yesterday with a friend after the Supreme Court ruling. He called me up and he was sputtering. He was so angry about the ruling, and we're all screwed, and I'm so glad I'm almost ready to die. And I mean, trust me, if this person had a negative entity attached to him for years, and he's only been rid of it 2 years, and so trust me, anything comes in that can make something negative, his old brain patterns, which he's not, he's doing a lot better than he was, but his old brain patterns are not completely broken yet. And so I had to finally say, what can I do that's going to make this easier for you? I'm trying to give you all the good points I can think about it, but everything, he was the I'm not okay person in our conversation. And, finally he said, well, no, you're right about that. Something about Hispanic voters in El Paso. And I said, okay, hold on to that thought. I mean, find the thought you can hold on to that's going to make it a little bit easier. And this is one I can say to him all the time. I love you through all your bad emotional states, because he has a ton of them. And then the other thing I like to tell people when I read about things and I saw some things, you're going to see them when we get to the questions. You're resilient and you have strength, and that holding on to that strength and resilience is what will get you through this. Doesn't mean it's going to be pleasant. Doesn't going to mean you're going to be in a smile fest, but you're just going to be happier. And this is one that's hard for me. It's okay to cry. We all do it. What do you need, a tissue or a hug? And right now, this is for me. Things are tough right now, but you want to talk about it, because and sometimes people don't need to talk about it. Then you just say, hey, let's go do something fun. And even when you think it's the last thing you want to do is to go do something fun, maybe doing something lighthearted, maybe just going out of the door of the house you're in is a move up from where you're sitting. So those are my thoughts. And I was going to weave this all together with codependence, which when I read I read Melody Beattie's first book on codependence, and it was Codependent No More. And I remember when I read the book, I thought, this woman's been following me. And I had to learn to use a lot of the stuff she had. I come from a family with addicted behaviors, and addicted behaviors tend to cluster towards codependence. So if I gave you some ways to think about it, because I know we're all running into that friend that says, oh my God, can you believe I did that? And their voice gets higher and higher, and you're like, I don't want to hear you screech. Yeah, I can believe they did that. And I've always believed people can do things that are difficult and hard for us. But one of the things I will tell you, and you're going to see this repeated over and over again, not in every question, but I have a whole lot of people coming to me and saying, what are my guides trying to tell me? Well, I'm the first one to say, I had guides. I knew they were there. I didn't get to know who they were. I did not meet Addie till I was in my late 60s, who's my primary guide and sitting right over here. But I just always kind of knew what to do. I listened to the voice inside myself. So I'm going to talk to you about what guides are saying to you about different things, because there are all kinds of different aspects today in the questions about that. But you really need to sit down, get quiet. And the way I met Frank is I did automatic writing. I said, if I have Addie, do I have another thing? And I did some automatic writing on, and I came up and I found out who Frank was. And I slowly, through dreams and visions and things around me, I began to understand exactly who Frank was. And they've been with me my whole life, and they've been protecting me my whole life. But when I finally was put under in hypnosis by Many Lives, Brian Weiss, Many Lives, Many Masters, I fully expected to go under and see nothing, because I don't do group hypnosis all that well. That's my own prejudgment, making sure it won't happen. But anyway, and I woke up and I met Addie, and I said, "Oh, hi, I'm Nancy Jean," and she went, "Yes, I know. Of course she knows, because she's been with me all that time." And then I said, "I don't know your name," and she said, "My name is Addie." And she walked me through a whole conversation. She explained to me why my life is here, why it is doing what it's doing. And right now, the universe is handing me stuff over time to be able to do it. The image basically she took me to, where she walked me across, we were in a colonial kitchen, and she had been a slave, and she was a slave in that kitchen. And she walked me all the way across to this corner cupboard. And she said, open the cupboard. And I opened the doors, and it was just a complete mess. It was a rat's nest. Nothing had any order. Everything was out of alignment. And I said, yeah, this is a mess. And she said, but that's your job. You take people through their lives, you take them over to that corner, they open up that cupboard, you look in and you say, okay, there's a mess. How do we fix it? And when I came home and was talking with friends of mine who knew what I did, and I was at that point I was already reading at table all the time. All my friends laughed and they said, that's exactly what you've done all these years. So for those of you who said, what does my guide want me to know that I need to do? You can meditate till you can meet your guides, or you can listen to them telling you what you need to know. But we're going to start with the questions, and we're going to go to the table. And I love seeing everybody here. Thank you for coming. It makes Tuesday so much happier for me. And we're going to go to the questions. And this is the first one. Lori, hey, every time I plan a trip to London, I get a blank spot around the first 2 weeks of September. It's not that the flights and the hotels aren't available. It's just, and what she said after that, because when I pull things off of YouTube, I can only pull so many words. She has a sense of foreboding and about her trip. So what I'm going to do is throw 5 cards and look at her sense of foreboding and say, is that something you should listen to? I'm not saying everything's sunshines and roses all the time. Or is that just her own hesitance to let herself have a good time? Okay? Which was my other flash on Lori. So what we're going to ask about is her sense of foreboding correct? And these cards are all going to be upright. I shouldn't use these cards. I'm going to use different cards because these would all be upright. These will not. Because you only read Radley's cards upright. These are very, very pretty cards. They're from this guy, and he signs every deck he designs. You see, that's a real signature on there. And he gives you options in cards. If you don't like the 3 of Swords, you give 3 different ways. You can have the 3 of Swords, 2 different ways. And you have 2 different ways you can have the Hierophant. You can either have the Hierophant, which is this little old guy that we're more used to, or a guru in my deck. And these, I love, when I saw these cards, I just knew I had to have them. Even though they're very expensive. They're the most expensive deck I think I own. So let's see. Lori and London and her feelings of foreboding. That's the guy that's changed from the Hierophant. Well, it says your sense of foreboding comes from you can't have anything nice. People like us don't have nice things like lovely trips to London. It says there's the 6 of Cups. No, it's a great place for you to go and see things and share with people and get along. And the only problem there might be is the thing you don't anticipate anything is with the airplanes. This is transportation flying through the air. But overall, out of your belief system, that's the little guru, Faith. He replaced Hierophant in the deck. You've got the Devil. It's your own imagination. Let me see. Will she go and have a good time? Yeah, don't get freaked by death. That just means change. Yes, you're going to find things, seeing things you've never seen. Your whole world's going to be opened up. You're going to become a more open person. You're going to meet some people you don't anticipate meeting there. It's going to bring around a complete change for you. It's going to give you all kinds of new ideas and new ways to live your life. And it's going to get you away from the winner takes all mentality you've had about things. So I'd say, girl, go on the trip. I don't think you should have these forebodings. I felt when I read the question, they were things that came from your past, not who you really are. And I'm sticking to that. So I hope that helps. Hi. What do my guides want me to know about my job search? Now, okay, this is one of the ones that's what do my guides want me to know? And you shouldn't have to come to me to ask what your guides want you to know. You should know what your guides want you to know. And I'm going to use an old deck I really like. But I'm going to say, okay, guides, speak through me to Jennifer. But what do you want her to know about her job search? Addie and Frank are pulling in things here. I actually have some clients that I mentor, and they set up a special arrangement with me, and I get a better background on them, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, a whole lot of stuff. But I have one who will say, well, what are my guides saying to Addie and Frank today? Because she said they just won't talk to me. So I guess that happens. I don't have days when they don't. I get to talk to everybody. Okay. What's the most important point for me to translate to you about your job search? Wow. Okay. You're not asking for enough money. You got diminished in your last job, and you've trained and you don't feel like you're ready, but you really are ready to move on and get out of whatever it was you were doing. You don't trust your own strength. You haven't met the right people, but they're out there. What do I see about the three of? It's going to be an older woman. She's going to take you in, even though you undersell your skills, because she's going to see them. I'm going to pull these up so you can see them. That's the training one. And you need to quit selling yourself short. Whatever you need to sit down, Jennifer, and this is what your guides are telling me, and this is what Addie and Frank are telling me. And they made me do this once to find an apartment. But you need to sit down and you need to write down the ideal job for you, the tasks, the color of the walls that are in your office or wherever you're going to be, whether you're going to be in an office or you're going to be at home. You need to put down every specific you can about the job and say, this is my job. Present it to me. And they will find you. The job will find you. You need to keep putting your resume out there, but you need to quit. I think one of the reasons you're not getting better job offers is because they think you're underselling yourself and you're not giving yourself all the credit for all your skills. And that's making it harder. And I'm not blaming you. I'm just giving you a technique to go define your job, write it all out. If you haven't read the book Angel Speaks, let's see if I can. That's Rory. It's a little skinny book. And I know it's been reissued. Nope. Now all I'm pulling up is my crystal books. Ah, there it is. Barbara Mark and Trudy Griswold. Trudy, I believe, is still alive. Barbara Mark isn't. They were sisters. They were people who were talking our kind of talk in the 1970s on Good Morning America. You talk about people who took a big risk. But what happened is both of them at the same time got a chance. The angels broke through. One sister was on the East Coast, one was on the West Coast. They were not talking to each other about it at the time. And the angels came and told them how to how to talk to angels and how to talk with the and this is what the chapters are like. Angels will care for you, love you, and teach you. And I wish I found this book in my late 60s. I wish I had had this book when I was younger. But in the book, they talk you through step by step how to put together a list of what you want. And as you notice, there's ink on here. There's pages where it's dark black ink and then red ink. Where it's black, it's Trudy and her sister writing the book. Where it's red, it's what the angels answered back to them. This book is absolutely marvelous. This is where I learned to do my automatic writing from. And I knew what automatic writing was. I just wasn't that familiar with it. It's a great book. Go find that book. You need that book. There's another job searcher that's on this list that needs that book too. Okay. And I hope that helps. Okay. This is another person. Cheryl, I'm going to just read what they tell me. I'm going to read from a different deck. I'm just trying all my different decks out to see how they like the world. And what do my guides have for me about what? I mean, I have about 100 different things my guides could talk to me about any given day. So we're going to see if we can figure out for you. And let's see what we got. What message do the guides have for her today? Well, I'm sure most people would sell their right arm to get this reading. You're much loved and cared for by those with whom you share your experiences. Your structure world, and I don't know if you work or if you just work with other people or however, whatever structures the outside world for you is really going well. Your home life's finally happy. Whatever the devil was, you're still worried that it's going to come back, but it's not. And you are being given the opportunity to become the Queen of Cups. And that means to learn your own psychic abilities. You are another one, Cheryl, who could benefit by reading Angel Speaks. And I don't know if you actively talk with your guides now, but I shouldn't have to tell you the messages your guides have for you. I mean, I even have bad days. There are readers I'll call and I go, what the hell's going on? And I say, well, Addie says this. So, I mean, I know what you're doing, and I don't think it's wrong, but I just think you should really handle more of what your guides are saying for you. And Mimi. See another one. Okay. What your guides have to say. I hope your guides like you as much as Cheryl's liked hers, because that was a good reading. I have rarely had a reading where I felt so many positive things showed up. And I know the devil showed up in the middle of it, but the devil upside down is. I know some readers read that it's like the devil even more, being more devilish, but I don't read that. And if you would like to learn how to read cards like I can read cards, if you think that would be a fun way to connect with your guides, Jeffrey and I are going to set up another tarot class. I have to get a hold of Dorothy Morgan to get my start date on it, but it will be in the fall because just too much crazy going on right now. I don't want to start a class right now. Okay. Oh, you've got the world. Oh, Lord. You've got the world at the beginning, which means you really have the world by the tail, but it's not showing up the way you want to see it. So you're saying, what the hell's wrong with me? You need to rethink how you're looking at the world. It's not being structured the way you want it to be. And there's two men, and one is like a son energy, and one is like a husband energy, or a father energy and a brother energy. But you've got two males that have kind of upset your apple cart for a little while. But let's see if your witch is going to change. Okay. The deal is, Nimi, your guides keep screaming at you what you need to do. You're just not listening. You need to accept the challenges and move forward with them, not try to control everybody because that's how you get upset. When you think they ought to do things a certain way and they don't do them, you don't like it. And um, what your guides want you to know, quit trying to control everything. If you try to hold on to everything too tight, you can't move forward. The plate has been set for your world to be really in good shape. Let's see about these guys. Yeah. The one that's a positive male, yeah, he's going to come through with the money and all that's going to happen. But who's this negative guy? Okay, yeah, this, I don't know which one's the husband and which one's the son. I think this may be the son. He depletes your energy. You know what he should do, he doesn't do it. But even if you know what he should do, you just have to let him decide to make his own mistakes. He he disrupts the family and he just depletes you. I think being in the room with this guy just drains your energy. So my advice to you is to pull yourself out of it, do the things you can do for yourself. Go have a spa day, go buy, I bought something wonderful and they're like fizzies, but you put them in the base of your shower, and when you take your shower they fill the room with these wonderful spa like fragrances. And I, when I've had a kind of a rough day or I think this is not going like I want, I'll go throw that in my shower and enjoy the hell out of it. Okay. Okay, I'm pondering converting to either Hinduism or Buddhism. Any insight on which I should choose? So, go back to the pretty cards. And normally, if people have a choice like this and I'm reading for them privately, I'll just lay one row Buddhism, one row Hinduism. But I'm just going to set out a row of 5 cards to ask if you have looked at everything with all the information you need so you can go forward and make the right choice. And I guess I could do. Okay. Okay. I'm going to do it 2 lines. I'm going to do Hinduism first. Not looking so good for Hinduism. Buddhism. Okay. What I've got for each of them, you're not sure enough in your own mind yet to make that decision. And what the cards are telling you is this is your state of mind and thinking about them. And thinking about the Hinduism, you're not altogether sure of the path within that world. Um, you've gone to some sessions, but you feel like maybe, and trust me, faiths have different sorts of groups, and this one is there's a 5 of Swords that's in charge of the one near you. You didn't feel particularly welcome there. You like the thinking of it. You think it could help you balance, but you can't exactly see why. And it's, you have fewer illusions and delusions about the Hindus than you do about the Buddhists. Now, what do you have for the Buddhists? There's some part of the Buddhism that you just really can't grasp as a way to move forward. Your problem is you're really eager to make a start and make a change for yourself, but you have to find the one that suits your soul needs the best. Um, there's also something about, well, you one of the things you like about Buddhism is they feel like they're less in control. This is the 4 of Coins, but it's reversed. They don't control you. And you've met a man through the Buddhist congregation that you're attracted to, a male or female, a leader. Let's see, is that, I don't know. Do you have to go into a formal, I guess you're looking for a formal faith. but you were burnt in a formal faith and you're kind of concerned about going into another congregational faith again. Let's see, where do you want to start? Oh, you want to start because you've just decided you need to make a decision. Now, this has the best cards of any. I don't know if that would sway me to become a Buddhist, but you've got the sun there, and he's a beautiful sun card. He's holding everything up, and you feel you sense the most value out of the Buddhism. I think. Let's see. I'm gonna try to pull a time for this timing card. Okay, timing card. There was a timing card in the other two, but I was in the middle of the other thing. So let's see. Let's see. Can I find a timing card? Yep. You're going to know by the end of this summer. You get the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups to me means summer. Do you have any other? Nope. But you do have the Eight of Coins, which means you're going to find someone you can study with better. I think you're going to come to your own conclusion about this. Of the two of them, I think you're heading towards Buddhism anyway. But don't go there because I said to. Because I've read their texts and been around them and been parts of some of their groups, but I'm still on the record, kids. I'm an Episcopalian, so. What do my guides want me to know about my job search? Okay, we're going to try. Ooh, we're going to try some really abstract cards. You guys are getting all the cards in the world today. This is Life is Like a Board Game. I think they're kind of good cards to read when you're talking about work. Anyway. What do your guides want you to know about your job search? Leave it all behind, please. That means you really want to get out. You need a complete change from whatever it was you did before. What they want you to know is that you have not met the right people with the right amount of money for you, but it's leave it all behind place. You're ready to move on, go to the new place. That's death is death. It just means complete change. You haven't found them yet. And why can't you get a world card out of this? Okay. One of the things about your job search is you had so many bad things happen at the last job that you're still burnt from that. And you can't let those thoughts go. And I think you had a job once that was perfect, and then you had this job, which was cutthroat. And so you're just about there. That's the Ten of Swords reversed. Ten of Swords is when it's really finally done. And what it says on this card is, it's always darkest before the dawn. That's what your guides want you to know, is to not get all upset about it and not think, oh my God, I'm going to end up back in the place where it was cutthroat. And I'll never find that wonderful job. You're finding a whole new wonderful job because death's there. So you're going to be fine. And I think I keep hearing 8. 8 could mean 8 days or 8 weeks. You know, this is a bad time to be unemployed because between elections, employers don't want to hire people. Don't ask me why. I mean, they got to hire people. Okay. Oh, yes, this is a past lifey person. And what did I do? I'm thinking people. And I realize that's like really bad YouTube stuff. But, no, that's not it. Where'd it go? I have a little deck that I use for past life cards, but I'm going to have to find another little deck to use for past life cards. And here they are staring at me, glaring at me, actually. Okay. I'm going to use cleverly labeled past life cards. Duh. Okay. We're going to look. And now we're going to see how you're working it out with this life path. I'll do that reading too. But you guys realize when I do a past life on a reading like this, it's really superficial because it just is. Oh, you were in the faith. You left because you didn't feel honored enough by what you did. You were a monk or a nun in Asia, but you felt one of the things that stopped you from wanting to do one of those very meditative things is because it didn't work out for you very well. And so you feel kind of burnt by that. Let's see. So I'm going to do a Spirit 7 to see how your life is interlocking with that life. Get Radley out of here. Give myself some more room. This table is not very big that I read on, guys. I want you to know. And these are old cards. I used to read with these in the 70s at psychic fairs. Let's see. What are you supposed to be doing with this? Okay. This is you today. These 3 cards are you today. And this is the past life. Yeah, there's your disappointment in that life that we saw. And this is what you need to do. Do what you want. You got the freedom to do whatever you want. You came into this life out of that past life. You hadn't had a family. You were not allowed to build a family. You were not allowed to build a lot of close people around you. You felt totally disenchanted. And I think you left that life fairly young. That's Page of Swords. Your problem with being part of a meditative community or a religious community is they don't really want you to tell them what you want to say. And you were tell them what you want to say person. So what did you bring in this life? This life you chose to come in and try to find people to be close to. And that hasn't always been successful because that little part of you still pops out. But you've learned through you've dealt with some treacherous people, but you really have an incredibly good heart. And that's what you need to do. So anything you can do that you feel makes your heart happy and aligns you with good people and keeps you away from bastards. Oops. Keeps you away from people who would rip you off. So I don't know that you can. Your connection is it's what do you will? What do you bring into your own mind? Your mind is telling you. That's the wish card. You can whatever you want. It's yours. Let's see. What do you want? Do you know what you want? Oh, yeah. You spend too much time thinking about the abandonment that happened in that past life. So you're constantly pulling, and I'm out of here, and my heart's broken. But really, you can go and do whatever you want to do. If you will only let your heart go and not make judgments on people so quickly. Because you got the ability to will your own good life in. Well, a lot of good readings. I was kind of dreading some of these, and you guys go, what does she see that she dreads? I don't know. Maybe ones that were questions I would write for myself. Last question on this board, then we go to the front. What will July look like for me? Okay. Who are we going to use? I'm not going to use you because you're too dark. I'm going to use my very abstract cards, my Monopoly deck cards for you. I wish I had a birthday with that in vision, because July is going to look a lot of different ways for a lot of different signs, depending on what's some things that are squaring and not squaring each other. It's going to be a tumultuous month, because we thought so much would be settled this month, and I'm afraid it's going to hang out into later in the summer that a lot of things get settled. But July for Envision Transformation Coaching. Well, you got good cards. Stay with what you're doing. The energy is going to be really good for you. You're bringing in some good people. You're bringing in a lot of stuff. There's a part of you that kind of wants to go off and be on your own, but this is telling me that you need to be present there. This is the Knight of Pentacles, messenger of slow and steady. You need to be doing the plotting and planning you're doing right now. I don't know if you're expanding your business or reworking it or rethinking it. And you're pairing off a lot of stuff you used to do. This is a Ten of Swords. This is a heavy burdens card. It's a Ten of Wands, excuse me. And as you've been building what you've been building here, you've been picking more and more up. And I think you finally reached a point where you're wanting to have more time for yourself, but you're having to deal more with the business. So you're letting stuff go. Your July will be a good time to release and let go of ideas, people, or things you think you need to do. You're thinking of things you ought to do. You really need to be focusing on the things you need to do, not you ought to do. And your July looks good. I mean, wouldn't gripe about those. Okay, comments. Now this is going to be boring for a minute because there were 3 at the top I get. Okay. Oh, love and romance. I get these so rarely anymore. When I read at table, I got them all the time. And now people are kind of like, well, that's over. But let's see if you guys are going to reconcile or not. Will Will S. and I reconcile? Will Will S. and Love Bug Blues reconcile? Well, first of all, Love Bug, you got to change that name. Love Bug anything, but Blues says you want to be in the blues. So, okay. This ain't looking good for you, Will. I would say no. But it ain't been good for a while. And you thought he was going to provide for you, and he did give you some emotional support at one point. He's just not capable of doing it anymore. And he can't, between the two of you, you just can't manifest trust. It's not on either side. It's just both of you need some work on your trust issues. And you really need to, you guys bored each other to death. I don't think you're going to reconcile. And I'm sorry, that's hard, cruel words, but these are hard, cruel cards. Okay, next person. And Love Bug, I'm not kidding. I would really get the blues out of your name. It sets a tone. G. Covington, when I read this question today, I thought, didn't I tell you when we read and you were looking for work to keep your resume polished? Because it was not going to be the job you thought it was going to be, and that they maybe weren't telling you the whole truth. I didn't, I said it kind of can be what you want to make of it. Let's see. We're going to get some happier cards. I'm going to get these cards. Okay. What's happening with G. Covington and her new job search, her new job coming? If I remember right, G, I read you in the garden and I thought you were going to be solidly in your new job in the fall. That's not that far. We're into summer now. And I think that's when I saw that you were going to be changing somehow. Let's see what the cards say today, because it does change. Moving to a new job. Yes, you definitely need to move to a new job. Yes. It's going to be wonderful. When you get there, you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm out of this place. This sort of defines where you are right now. You're right. They're very emotionally mature. They're the Three of Coins upside down. They don't really want to work with you. There's the Seven of Cups. So much illusion and delusion. Man, that place must be a lie fest. You go to work for the RNC. You got the Nine of Swords. This costs you nothing but worry, but your out card is wonderful. You've got a new job coming, and it's going to be everything you want it to be. It's going to be the sun. These cards are just about as dark as you can get. And then let's see if I can lay some cards on your new job. It's not going to come till after October. This has been a real lesson in you and how to look. Miss being wound up in the Five of Swords, and what's the Two of Cups about? I think you keep looking through your friends' network to find a job lead, and that's not where it's going to come from. I'm sorry, I had to put the microphone off because I had to go in the corner and cough. Okay, what does my guides want me to focus on right now? Thank you. I'm going to use Morgan Greer. For years, this was my go-to deck until I found the one that I use mostly now, Eileen Conley. And the reason I went to Eileen Conley was there's no death or devil in that. The death and devil are in that deck, but that's not the wording used for them. It's transformation and materialism. Materialism is the devil, and transformation is death. And when I could use those reading at table, you guys are educated better. But man, when you work in a wine bar and you throw death or the devil down on a table, people don't like it. Okay. What my guides want me to focus on right now, and I mean now, guides, quit spending so much money and work on the things that make you happy, the people who make you happy, your home, even the ones that have been a burden recently. You're going to have to make up your mind about some of the ways you are spending your money. And that's what they want you to work on right now, because the tower you see coming, it's not going to come. But you keep thinking it's there. So you really pinch every penny in, or you overspend because you just can't think about it. And you will make up your mind about what to do about this. Let's see what about this is the best card. I think there are two other people who live in the house with you. One can be a little bit of a teller of tales. The other one has a mouth, all right. They'll tell you what they think. But you're right where you are right now is where you're mastering a lot of your own skills and assuming a lot of your own power. So I think you're in a good place, actually. Okay, now I have to go down and read. Okay. Message from guides about romantic partners. I'm starting to have visions or precognition of shared memories of them. I feel that there's someone out not connected to my world. I don't know if they really exist. Okay. Well, we'll ask the guides. About the person that you think you know that you don't, not sure you know, but maybe you don't really know. And Ness also says she's not currently in a relationship. So that always makes it easier to meet someone new. I used to have people come and they'd have these boyfriends they'd had for 10 years and they already knew that it was going absolutely nowhere after 10 years. And they'd say, what do I need to do? And I'd say, get rid of the one you have beside you because the universe doesn't know you need somebody. As long as you got somebody there, they're kind of going, okay, they're covered. And this one friend of mine fought me about that. And I've known her over 30 years. And he's still hanging around. So, and she still can't figure out why she didn't find somebody new. So being a friend of the reader doesn't always get you the answer you want either. Okay, what we got? Okay. Is Ness really having romantic visions of someone coming in? Your choice. But after that, it kind of says no. It says you're dreaming about it. You're sort of formulating it in your mind. But you've got, your problem is, okay, you've got 2 pages and a king that are going to come in. And at the end, you're going to walk away from all of them. But it's going to be all your choice. You have 2 pages, and the pages would be males that are males, but they're less mature. And one person is going to come in who's going to be involved with writing or organizing or law or something. But right now, are any of them good choices? No. This one can't make his mind up. This one likes to fight. And this one is intemperate. So you're going to go through you're going to be kissing a few frogs here, girl, before you get to the prince. And good for you. I mean, you go out and find companionship. Have a good time. No, okay, no. Oh, Dale, Gaia is just there. And Gaia has a lot of messengers among the elementals, but they will tell you how Gaia is feeling, but you can feel how Gaia is feeling. I mean, you can connect to that energy. And I talk to elementals and they'll tell me, that one of the reasons they're coming up and are going to become more relevant in our world right now is because they are channeling, trying to channel to us her directives, and we're not listening. But that's a collective thing because each person can do the piece they can do. Hi to everybody in Wisconsin. Talked to Scott yesterday. Let's see if we got any more. Okay. No. Did you see where NASA discovered special formations high over the Earth? No. I'll go look it up. But I didn't happen to see that. Shifting veils. What I did this weekend was my daughter and I, we got the Sorted Food, which is a cooking show in England, they had where they were washed ashore, and they ran a 2-day show, and they filmed about 5 or 6 hours each day of challenges and different things, all sort of centered around food and their community. I like them. I think they're funny. I enjoyed the thing. And my daughter and I could watch it together on our TV. And yeah, you can freak out a bit. It's, it's just always just stay positive. No, there are times when things are being said around us that do not mean that we should stay positive. I'm sorry. And I'm sure I've said some of them to people myself. Okay. The one thing I learned raising children was after the night you spent up all night while they were teething, that's not going to go on forever. Nothing goes on forever when you're dealing with children. It's always changing. I'm trying to get back into scrying. I don't want another portal experience. You need to look at all the different methods that are available to you, 3 shifting veils, so that you can have ones you can just put down. And sometimes it's hard because we really get into this. I think I want to know. And then you see what you see and you go, hey, I didn't really want to know this. Thank you, Julie. I want to stay calm too. And it takes some doing. Rose Blue's son visited her last night from the other side. Tell her to calm down. Open yourselves up to that, guys, to feeling the messages beyond ourselves. Let's see. Okay, you didn't ask that question, but I will answer that question a different way. If you go to my website and you go into there's a folder up there that's called resources. There is a dowsing chart that Danny and I put together, and it has the 3 questions you should always ask yourself. Am I dealing from my highest spirit? Do I have the universe's the permission to douse, which is also a thing. Maybe there are days you just shouldn't do it. And then the third one is, am I protected? And if you don't feel protected, then get the hell out. And if you do feel protective and you have brought in protective guides, or you just have that air of protection around you now, you can go ahead in there and maybe not end up in a portal experience. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we lost one fur baby last month. Ua. And it's hard. It's really hard. Okay, we're going to throw this one pretty quick. Had an interview for a position 2 weeks ago with this guy, Tim. Curious to see if I'm going to be offered this job. Would Tim be offering the job, or I'll just post, will you be offered the job that had something to do with Tim? Because I don't want to say, will Tim offer you the job if Tim can't offer you the job, because that sort of screws the question. It says yes, and it's going to be a complete change for you. Their problem right now is arguing out the money to bring you in. But I think you do. And they're taking their own sweet time. It may just be a lot of people are on vacation stuff. This is a tough time of year to get hired. Can do Roni, and then we got one more question I'm going to answer after that about Moldavite. Will Roni's new school be a better fit? It's going to be a little bit better, but it's really the whole fit of being in education right now. It's not where it's not where your heart wants you to be. And so you feel a little disappointed, but you're going to make friends there. And you're not going to have to be on guard all the time. Apparently, where you before, you had to be on guard all the time. But it's just sort of the state of schools these days, Roni, as much as anything. But I think for you, it'll be a better fit. I'm going to answer Moldavite. Why is Moldavite green? Are there any other colors? I got a tiny sliver of Moldavite in the mail. What's the best use for it? And it's pretty. Moldavite is green primarily, but if you slam even some dark crystals down to smaller and smaller, they don't look as vibrant a color as they were. And let me look. Okay, I'm going to switch back because I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to try to get close by. I've noticed people don't like to watch things that go on for an hour and an hour. Moldavite is a green because when the asteroid smashed into the Earth, or the giant meteor smashed into the Earth, whichever it was that caused that, the ground around there tended to turn everything green. All the Moldavite I've seen is green. I have it. It's a good protection stone. It absorbs a lot of energy. It also absorbs your energy if you're not careful, or for just some people are more sensitive to it. I've talked to people who got Moldavite and they couldn't even wear it because it made them so antsy. I know one person who claimed that on his show was Cash Peters. He got a piece of Moldavite and he said he just couldn't wear it. It made him so antsy. Put it on and see how it makes you feel. And I see some other questions down here, but I just really want to let everybody go in 1 hour. I don't see anything negative in your upcoming vacation, silent victory, and I saw Bernie. I don't know. That would be a longer question than I could answer right now. It's very complicated, and let's see what everybody else is saying. Everybody's saying hi to everybody, which makes my day longer. And I'm grateful for everyone who came. I'm grateful for everyone who submitted questions. I've been getting feedback from some people through my email. And if you guys are just going to have to watch and get in earlier, I see some people who want past life questions, and I'm going to do a past life show soon. So Thursday I'll be on, but I'll be working on the grid again, and just see everybody then. I'm not intending to be anywhere before then. So good luck shifting veils, 3 shifting veils. It's going to change a lot of how our government is structured. And if nothing else, it ought to get all of you out there working for any case. So any one of you can help get a few more votes in, especially if you're in the battleground states. But even if you're not, I got a long note today from a lady who said, I'm older, and she kind of listed what she thought were her reasons she wouldn't be good working as a volunteer. And I'm going to talk to her later this afternoon and try to give her some ideas on what she could go in and do, because they need bodies and they need people to do clerical work, and they will let that go out of the office if they know who you are. So And no, moldavite was made. It's called a tektite, and it's a crystal that's made from the interaction of a, a asteroid. Probably the amount of moldavite that's out there had to be an asteroid, a small one, or a good-sized meteor. But when the meteor hits the ground, it's so hot that it melts the crystalline structures that are around, or that just melts whatever is the main crystal that's in that area. And I've done a show on tektites, and there's a lot of interesting ones. Right now, there's a lot of activity where meteors hit in the desert in Africa, and they make these beautiful yellow crystals. And I think they're called Liberian crystals, something. But they're real pretty. And shungite, the stuff that's so incredibly protective out of China, it's like 99.9% carbon, and it was made by a giant meteor, or a giant asteroid that hit the Earth 13 million years ago. I wasn't there at the time, don't know what date. Anyway, y'all have a good day and stay cool and stay dry if you're in northern Minnesota near the dam. And I will talk to you on Thursday if you're interested in crystals. And we'll talk about all that kind of fun stuff. Bye.